evening, good afternoon for depending on where you are. Occasions. My name is Trey Kuhlman. I wanted to thank you guys for hopping on and coming and joining me to talk about things and sort of talking a bit about preparing for that next stage of your life and getting a leg up on applying for jobs and internships. The Acacia fraternity provided me a lot, including this aspect, and I hope that you can find a valuable foundation as part of the Acacia fraternity as well. Um, and as this education you're pursuing in university helps build you up to that, I want to help provide you guys with that next stepping stone for getting the leg up to move on to your post-grad success that we all want from you. As I said before, my name is Trey Kuhlman. I'm the current chapter advisor at the Kansas State chapter of Acacia. I became a man of Acacia January 2019 and graduated with my undergrad in political science and global food systems leadership in May 2022. I work currently as a legislative liaison for the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, and I'm currently also a graduate student at K-State pursuing my master's degree in public administration. While I'm doing that, I've volunteered my time to be the chapter advisor for the K-State chapter of Acacia, and something that I've started doing this past year or so that I've been an advisor is help provide guys some advice and guidance when it comes to job prep, resumes, job interview stuff, sort of the stuff you might see at your career center. And that's simply because I am, as a now professional working member of the workforce, have that experience. And also, I used to compete in job interview competitions. So I felt like it was a particular skill that I had when I started providing for the guys in our house. And so that's how I got roped into coming and talking to all of you guys about to share a bit of my knowledge about how to get prepped and be ready for that next stage of your life. And the thing is there are plenty of people out there who find job prep, job interviews, applications, all that as something esoteric or something that's like rocket science. You can't really figure it out. It's something kind of daunting. And I just want to tell you, it's really not. There's a bit of science to it. It's psychology and sociology, and then also understanding some statistics. But the good thing is that all that work has already been done. There have already been researchers that have gone out of their way to go and find the understanding of how people interact and how the cultural trends react to people applying for jobs in different ways. And they've already worked it out. And I'm just here to share some best practices. So, with that being said, there are some of you who have already had job interview classes, seminars, prep, things like that. So you might see some repetition here. You might see some things that, oh, I've already seen this before. But I hope you might find a couple gold nuggets, a couple new things you haven't heard of that you can try. And I will say also, if everything that I've covered tonight, you've already heard before, you're already doing it, get out there and start applying for jobs. I think you're ready to go. And so with that being said, I am going to share my screen and we'll go through this presentation here. So today we're going to be running through creating an effective resume, making a cover letter, preparing for your interview, building your brand, and then also job searching in the modern world with AI. And then we'll be doing some questions. So getting started, obviously, this is me. I came from a small town of Stockton, Kansas, which is a town of about 1,000 people. If you can imagine that, for some people, that is a lot to take in. I had a graduating class of 25 people. This kind of runs through sort of where I am now in my studies and also where I've been with K-State Acacia. I served as risk manager, senior dean, and ritual chair in my time, and I serve currently as their chapter advisor. We're going to get right into talking about creating an effective resume. This is one of the most important aspects for the job application after the interview. And this because this is the first impression of you to an employer. What makes you worth their time? What makes you worth the time to go and interview and become a potential employee? This is about showing your employers your key strengths and your professional experience that make you worth their time. The first tip I want to tell you guys about is creating a CV. So some of you might not have heard of CV, some of you have, but it's a curriculum vitae is what it stands for. CV is much better to say. But this is a comprehensive document that lists everything you've ever done. Where a resume is a collection of the jobs and experiences that best apply to the job you're applying for, a CV lists everything you've ever done, every single volunteer opportunity, every single job, every single skill, all of it. That's what a CV is for. It can go lists on, and you continue to build on to it as you go on with your life. And why that's valuable is because this is a catalog of all your experiences. You might forget some of the things you've done, given enough time. And with this, you have it available to you, and you can very easily, if you format things the right way, go and take what you have from your CV and plug it into the resume that is a perfect fit for the job you're applying for. And so that's why I recommend that you guys look into creating a CV and kind of catalog everything you've ever done so that you don't have to try to remember it later. Next, we're going to kind of just go through, this is the very basics of what you need to do for a resume. I hope most of you guys know this sort of thing beforehand, but in case, contact information is a must. You need to have contact information so they can reach back out to you. No fun email addresses, no Diamond Miner 74 or whatever sort of goofy email address. Just a simple named email address of your name is what we want, as any employer would want as well, for your email, and obviously having all your contact information so they know where to reach out to you. Highlighting your intent, your passion for the role is a good thing to have in a lot of resumes. Tailoring it for each job. Don't just copy paste the same thing over and over again. You want to write that personally made for the job you're going into. Going into education, we need to make sure that you are emphasizing the work, the coursework, the honors, and the projects that best fit into what you are looking to apply for. That is pretty obvious, and the same goes with experience. But the important thing with experience is that you need to be able to quantify your accomplishments, not just talk about your job duties, but what sort of things that you can measure and show what sort of things you've done in that job that make an impact. It could be, you've managed a team of so many people during this time and saw some level of success in some sort of way. I'm being very vague, and that's on purpose. But you need to be able to quantify what you do so that employers can show that you're not just an average person. You're doing something above and beyond, and that will make you more valuable. Skills, obviously showing hard in your soft skills as well, both from ability to work Microsoft Word and Microsoft PowerPoint to other skills that might be more about customer relations and things like that. You need to have those especially tailored and especially listed if it's on your job description. If it's on the job description and you have that skill, you should have it on there. That should be pretty straightforward. And lastly, certifications, professional development sort of skills that you have, such as any certifications. If you have Google Analytics, know how to use Python, all of those should also be listed on your resume. And if they're not, and you have that skill, it definitely needs to be on there. We're going to go forward from here, though, and talk a bit more about some of the other tips and tricks that we can make use of. Importantly, we have some do's and don'ts. First is every single action verb that you can use when you're talking about the things that you did in your work, you need to make use of. Make impactful verbs to talk about how you worked in your field. Led, developed, managed, those are all decent examples of what this means. Don't just say that you were a manager for a group of individuals. You managed a team. You led a group. You developed new skills in the job. ATS optimization is becoming more and more important as we go into this modern world of AI and the ability for ATS to process information. ATS is an applicant tracking system, and this is the general system that most places use to go through a resume and scan it quickly and find who are the ones they want to bring back for a resume. And with modern AI systems, This is becoming all the more advanced in its ability to read your system and read your resume, I should say, to find who is the best candidate based off of its scan. And so be sure to optimize it based off of that. And what that means is what the applicant tracking system is looking for is as close of a match to the job description as possible. So you want to make sure that your resume and everything that you have that are actual skills that you have that match the job description is on there so that the applicant tracking system can spot that and find that and make you stick out. For most of you guys, especially with entry level jobs, you should try to keep it one page. Later on in line, as you develop more skills, there's some more room and flexibility for bigger resumes. But at your guys' level, you want to keep it concise and show the very forward, front facing, this is what skills I have that are best suited for the work you do. Obviously, formatting, keep it clean, keep it consistent, use bullet points. Don't get fancy and creative with your designs unless you're in a creative field. There's a bit more flexibility on that, but generally you want to keep things pretty easy to read, straightforward, and well organized. And lastly, of course, tailor your resume. Make the resume for the job. Don't just have a general resume that you're going to be sending out to everyone. Make every resume have your own personal touch to it. You can have a template for your resume that you work off of, but make sure that you have every resume having a personal touch that shows that you care about this job. You care about the people that are going to be looking at this resume and you want that job. Obviously, don't have errors in it. You are trying to look professional. You are trying to be a skilled professional in this world. And so don't have spelling and grammar errors. Don't overly complexify your formatting and make it too difficult for you guys, for any sort of employer to look at. They get distracted by all the different formatting and designs rather than what they should be looking at, which is your abilities and your skills and why you deserve to be somebody welcome back for an interview. And lastly, don't lie and don't exaggerate your experiences. Talk about what you actually did and the skills and the abilities and the accomplishments you had in those jobs. Don't take it over the top because they can and will call references to make sure that who you say you are is who you say you are. Here we have an example of someone who has a bit more experience than an applicant level resume that we can kind of go through really quickly. You'll see that this person has 7, I think 8+ years of experience in financial investment advising. So you'll notice on here, there's not a lot of their volunteer leadership, that sort of aspect. Lots of it's focused on his professional experience, a bit about his education and some additional skills that he has. And that's because Richard here has a lot of experience, 8 some years of experience dealing with financial analysis, which for a job where he's applying for financial analysis and financial advisory, that's the most important thing is his professional experience. And so that's highlighted. For a lot of you younger guys where you might not have as much of that professional experience, you need to highlight what else you guys have. That includes your leadership in the house, leadership outside of campus, and outside of the house and on campus. You volunteer work that you do. Anything that can help make you and show you that you are able to be a leader, that you're able to commit your time to things that you care about, you're passionate, and that you're able to manage people, is are all valuable skills to have that an employer is looking for. And then as you go on and you develop more professional experience, you need to show that professional experience, show how you've developed and how those skills make you an even more attractive employee as time goes on. With that, we're going to go on to making a cover letter. This one is probably going to be a little brief, but it should be pretty straightforward about what a cover letter isn't. The cover letter is the first impression. You're writing a letter to the people who are going to be looking at your resume, letting them know about how passionate and how much effort you are putting in to apply for this job and how much you desire it. And that's what you need to convey. It needs to be well crafted, it needs to be genuine, it needs to be well structured. You're writing a formal letter, which I hope you guys have all been taught at least a little bit of how to do. But that is kind of where you need to go with it, is you're writing a letter trying to show your intent. and it will help you stand out by highlighting your personality, your passion, your ability that makes you the best fit for the job as they start reviewing your resume. As I said, you need to tailor your cover letters. Don't use a generic cover letter you're sending out to every single company you apply for. Customize each one for the job that you apply, mentioning the specific aspects of the role that you would be applying for in the company and why it's desirable to you. Keep it concise. Keep the cover letter to one page. 3 paragraphs is a good sort of ballpark for where you want to go outside of the intro and perhaps a conclusion little snippet. Uh, Employers don't have time to be reading long letters. They want to read something that introduces who you are so they can read the resume and consider after the fact. You want to match the tone of the company. This one can be a bit challenging for a lot of people, but you need to understand the company's culture. You need to research them, and it's pretty easy to do through LinkedIn, maybe through Facebook, or many other different types of, if it's on X, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. You need to understand the culture of the company, how they interact with one another, so that as you make the application, you can give the proper tone towards them. If it's a formal organization, such as the field I work in with legislative affairs, you need to keep your tone professional. If it's more creative or if it's more casual field and a casual workplace, you can let your personality shine out a bit more and be a little more casual with how you write your letter. But it still needs to be appropriate and proper. And lastly, you need to show, don't just tell. Talk to people about how you're a great leader. If you're going to say that you're a great leader, what makes you a great leader? What sort of experiences have you had make you a great leader? And that's just one example of what you need to look into. If you're wanting to tell people you are something, show them how. Tell them at a time that you were this way that shows them why you are a leader, diligent, hardworking, et cetera, et cetera. You need to demonstrate enthusiasm. I can't speak tonight, but you need to convey your passion for the job in the company without overdoing it. Show excitement, why you want to be a part of the job, and why this is a great opportunity for you and a great opportunity for the company to advance both your career and advance their ability to work and be able to work with you. If you're having a career switch, you have gaps in employment, anything like that, which this is more of a later in life sort of thing typically to consider, but one that I need to address nonetheless. If you're doing something like that, you need to address that in the cover letter. You need to make sure that they know why you're making this change, but why you still consider yourself a great applicant despite this change. Get away from cliches, hard worker, work well in a team. Like I said before, describe specific situations where you demonstrate those qualities and proofread. I am probably going to emphasize this one a lot. Make sure you proofread what you submit to these companies. You can ask someone else to review it. You can take some time to read it again multiple times before you send it out. They're going to be looking for that, and they want to see professionals who know how to do something basic like addressing a proper letter. And so you need to be sure that you have proofread it. I know I have a struggle when I write something, I write it all at once. And then if I don't read it back, I'll not notice the mistakes I made. And so you always need to make sure that you proofread. Next, we're going to go on to probably the most important part of when it comes to the job interview process, which is, of course, the job interview. This is the chance to get your foot in the door, where the resume is sort of you're ringing the doorbell, and then now they open the doorbell to you. Now it's your time to get inside. This is the first impression. It is the key to moving on, to getting into the career, getting to the job that you want. So this is really important that you do some prep before you go and do it. And before the interview, there are some things you really need to do. First is, like I said before, when you're talking about understanding the culture before, when you're looking at the cover letter, you need to research the company. You need to understand who's key to the company. What's their mission? What's their culture like? And those are things you can find online and kind of understand what sort of place you're going to be going into so you can interact well when it comes to time to talk to the interviewers. You need to study your job description. You need to focus on why you are the best fit for their company, and that includes looking at their job description and compared to your own life, so that you can best match how your skills and your experiences best fit the job they're looking to hire you for. Practicing common questions is a great thing to do as well. They tell me about yourself, what's your greatest weakness, those sort of very basic questions that almost every job interviewer will ask, or at least some of them. You can practice those, harness those. Um, and lastly, you need to prepare questions for the interviewer. That demonstrates interest and engagement, and sometimes there are genuine questions that you have that you have the opportunity to ask then and there to help understand the company a bit better. So you should definitely prepare those questions and ask them. And I'm not just talking about asking questions about salary. You need to ask actual questions about the work they do, or the field of work that you could expect to be working in, uh, or other aspects according to the job, not just a salary question. But it is worth asking, depending on the tone and the culture of the interview. During the interview, the an important thing that I want to emphasize is dress code. You should try to dress one level above the typical workplace attire of the company. So if it's a place that tends to dress business casual, or at some level of very more business like, show up in a suit, show up business professional. If it's someone that's pretty casual for their typical work, be a bit business casual, nice shirt, a polo, dress shirt, and some slacks. That's the way to go. You should be a step above where the typical attire is, to show that you consider this an opportunity and you take it seriously. Body language is, of course, very important. Maintaining eye contact with people, offering a firm handshake, setting up right, remembering people's names. All those basic things are obviously really important for good reason. That helps you build a connection with the people you're speaking to. And you should try to do that when any opportunity you have, not even just an interview. Um, Maintaining eye contact, offering a firm handshake, remembering people's names, that makes people feel like you're invested in them, and lets them know that you care for them and you know these things about them. And so that definitely helps you and builds a good impression. Highlight what makes you different, what makes you stick out, what makes you different from the average candidate are important things you need to do during the interview. And also make use of the STAR method of behavioral questions. So if someone asks you, tell me about the time where you had to lead an organization in a short time crunch. Don't just say, oh, I did this time. You need to give them a situation that you were in, provide them a task that you had to perform in that situation, tell them about the action that you took and what the result of that was. That method will always come through and show that you are well organized, you know how to describe and basically tell a story that can help the interviewers understand that you know what you're doing and you have the ability to uh, meet their desires in their job. I hit tip I like to tell people is about reflection. If somebody asks a question that you might not know the answer to right away, or one that you need to think about and kind of process, this is a great opportunity for you to repeat the question back to them, to show that you understand the question and that you're listening to the question. And that time that you have responding by repeating the question back to them gives you the time to take a breath and think about your answer and what you want that answer to really be. Also, be authentic. Show your personality. Don't just be having rehearsed lines or rehearsed talking points. Let your personality and who you really are come through, um, so that you can build a more uh, close and genuine rapport with the people that you're going to be interviewed by. And lastly, following up. You need to send an email back to the hiring manager, the people who interviewed you, within 24 hours to reinforce your interest in the position and to let them know that you care for their company and the job. Proofread your email, of course, make sure it's properly addressed and written well, and collect on LinkedIn. It helps maintain a professional relationship with those people afterwards. And if future opportunities come up where maybe you didn't get this particular job, in the future, they'll know who to reach out to, so that you might have an opportunity in the future. Some extra tips and tricks. Use friends, family, and career services to practice for interviews. I can't tell you how important that is to have at least a little bit of practice before you go and speak to people, especially a group of people in interviews for the first time. It can be scary, it can be daunting. And so having people to kind of give you trial and error and help you prepare, very worthwhile. If you know who the interviewer is going to be, it's worth studying up on them, learning about what they've done in their life so you can build some common ground, some common understanding. Um, like I said before about reflection, handling tough questions can be tough. Reflecting can uh, help you process the tough question and understand it. But if you don't know the answer at all, you need to stay calm. Don't panic. Don't come up with something on the spot. You need to stay calm and talk through your thought process about what side of, what type of tough question it is. And if you don't even reach an answer, helping talk through why it's a challenging aspect, helping talk through what makes it a tough question and how you understand it, what sort of process you would try to do is a lot better and builds a much better impression to any sort of interviewer than just coming up with something on the spot that isn't well thought out. Also, lastly, don't feel like you might have to fill in every single point of silence. There will be times in an interview where it will be quiet, either between them writing another question or after you've answered and them saying another question. There'll be times where it'll be quiet. You don't have to speak in that time. Let the silence give you time to continue to process your thoughts, stay calm, and be ready for what the next question might bring. The next aspect we're going to be talking about is building your brand. And this first aspect is one I actually have a bit of struggle with myself. It's something I'm still working on. That's building your brand on LinkedIn. You know, completing your profile, using a professional photo, headlining, having a headline, keeping detailed experiences. Composites can serve as a pretty good professional photo as you're starting out and going into the workforce. Composites are a great one to use for start, unless you have other fields and other jobs that might get you a professional photo. Connecting and networking is also very key. That's what LinkedIn is for, reaching out to alumni, joining industry groups, and engaging on posts. Helps build your rapport with people around in your industry, in your field, that will benefit you later. Posting content, this is the aspect I kind of struggle with myself. Sharing articles, thoughts on industry trends, and on projects, it can be really valuable. And I've seen it be valuable to show you care about the industry and what you're doing and give the chance for other people to engage with you and build a rapport that way. Asking for informational interviews is a great tip that I didn't know about for a while myself. It's a great way to learn and make connections with people in different companies and jobs without directly asking for a job. If you are interested in a job, you can go and ask someone from that company or a particular group of people to have an informational, kind of learn about that company. And after that, you may just find yourself being asked for a resume. You might find yourself being called back to for some job opportunities in the near future. So it's definitely worthwhile looking into for places that you want to go and try to get into. In the broader online presence, there's things you can do as well. In social media in particular, make sure to clean up your personal accounts. Potential employers will check them often, and you don't want to see things that they don't want to see things you don't want to be seen on there. So it is definitely worthwhile cleaning up, making sure that it's professional and it's something that you don't think would harm your chances of getting a job. We'll just put it that way. Portfolio websites. If you're in a creative field or the tech field, having a portfolio website is definitely worthwhile to showcase some of your best work so that people know in your field what they're looking for and what sort of skills levels that you have. And lastly, there's networking sites. There are many organizations that have networking sites outside of LinkedIn that you can make use of and be a part of. And that includes an Acacia network. We'll move on from there with a couple more tips and tricks and have a 30-second speech. This is a fun one. If you're able to build up a pitch that can summarize who you are, your skills and experiences, and your career goals in 30 seconds with someone, that is such a useful skill to have when you meet people and you network in person because you're not taking up too much time and people can kind of get an understanding of who you are and what you're looking to do in your life just in 30 seconds. So it's worth practicing, learning how to summarize your skills best. Personal branding statements, building a building a one-line statement that defines your professional persona. This isn't something you share, mind you, but this is a statement of what kind of person you're looking to be in the professional world, and that what you're looking to be perceived as, that you can adhere to and follow. It's sort of like creating your own uh, persona is sort of an aspect to it, but sort of your uh, what you seek to be. It's sort of fake it till you make it, and then you become it of how you want to be as a professional. Networking etiquette is something I highly, highly emphasize. I don't think I could emphasize enough. It's about building meaningful relationships with people. Don't go and speak with people just because you're looking for a job. Don't go and speak with people with the only opportunity for, or the only intent of trying to get a job. If you're speaking with someone, you're interested in a job with them, build a connection, build an actual relationship, build a friendship with, help them understand who you are on a deeper level than just someone who's trying to get a job. Um, Build that connection with them. And even if you don't get that job at the time, maintain that relationship. You'll never know when a new opportunity might come up. And so it's always valuable building more and more connections and relationships with people that are genuine and real, not just the superficial aspect of focusing on what the next career is going to be. Because you never know when it might benefit you later. And the same goes with your guys in the house, your alumni. Building those relationships can be so valuable to you, and you might not even expect when or how it might be. A couple more things. I want to tell you guys that not many people leave university and go straight into the dream job. I'm not saying it's impossible, but not many people do. Instead, you need to be forward thinking. You need to have a battle plan. How are you going to get to where you want to be, where your dream career might be? And what sort of steps could you take? Can it be changed? Can it be altered? Those are the things you need to be thinking about. You need to be forward thinking about how you do and how you want to achieve what you want. What can you do right now that can get you to where you want to be later in life? The connections and activities that you are part of now can make all the difference later on. I kind of talked about this in the last slide. The organizations and the connections you have now and throughout life not only enhances yourself and your own personal life, but it can enhance your career as well, and you might not even know how. Use the resources around you. I highly emphasize this for the Career Center. Use your family, your friends, use your professors around you to help you build connections and practice, build resumes, et cetera, et cetera. There are resources around you. You just have to look for them or be aware of them. So I definitely want to emphasize that to you guys. And our last big thing that I wanted to cover is about job searching with AI and the new world that it brings. And it's something that even I, when I first started applying a job, it's far different from the world that it is now. ATS is becoming more and more advanced thanks to modern AI. And to keep up, we can use AI as a tool to help us keep pace. We can use AI-powered resume builders, such as many AI tools exist that can format and optimize resumes, cover letters, and keep it grammatically correct, precise, and optimized for the job. Mind you, I'm not saying to use a AI-powered resume to make your entire resume for you. You need to have everything you need, but you can use these tools to make sure that it's all correct, right, grammatically formatted, and optimized for the job. The same can be said about AI interview practice. There are AIs out there that can provide questions for the job that you're looking to do and help you field questions, and it'll give you advice about uh, the answers you've made and where you can be improved on those answers, and if it's worthwhile sort of answer to make to that type of question. You can leverage AI-based tools as well, like LinkedIn has a job recommendation feature, I know, and there's other chatbots that can help you find the job openings and the opportunities that might exist that fit within your preferences and the type of field and industry you want to look into. And so that can be really helpful. And the last thing is an interesting one, and it is about building the connections once again with actual people. In the current world with AI, hiring managers and the teams that handle getting applications are getting flooded with job applications. A lot of them are being overwhelmed with AI generated mass produced resumes that even if they are just mass produced ones they're going to toss out, they still have to review them. And so another way to help you stick out is to actually build the real life connection, whether it's through LinkedIn or real life building connection with the hiring managers or major people in the company or field that you're looking to work in, so that you actually have those real connections. It's not always what you know, it's who you know. And so to wrap up this kind of brief talk, taking action today and updating what you have often is the best path to help you reap the rewards tomorrow and later in life, whether it's an internship or a job. And remember that job searching is a process. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Be prepared to fail, but always keep working to succeed. I think the saying goes about if you shoot for the moon, you'll land at the stars, something along those lines. It's true. If you keep working at something, you will eventually reach somewhere that you'll be happy to go in and you can build a path forward from. And with that, I want to thank you guys for your time and for letting me chat a little bit about what I know. And I hope you guys gained something from this. I want to open the floor for any questions you guys might have.
Hey Trey, how's it going?
Hey, it's good to hear from you, Jack. What's up?
I actually don't have a question, but I just have some food for thought. During the summer, I started a mentorship program for my specific chapter, and if any of y'all have an alumni database or something like that, I would really recommend uh trying to not just you yourself try to network with alumni, but through starting the mentorship program, I've met and been able to connect with many more alumni than if I was just looking for mentorship myself. Uh, and it's also, not that hard. A lot of these guys want to talk to the actives. I've found.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. It's a great point and one that I definitely want to emphasize too. K State has an alumni LinkedIn that we always try to connect with the actives as well. Having databases and things like that, building the opportunities for mentorship programs and building connection between Acacia alumni and actives can be very helpful. Just like Jack said, to kind of build a rapport and open up new opportunities for you in the job force. Yeah, well, I think we can call it here. I want to thank you guys. Obviously, there are lots of resources around you that you guys can reach out to build your path to your success after college. And you just need to look around and find them. I hope you guys have gained something from this and know that this is going to be put on YouTube, I believe, and posted somewhere that you guys will be able to go back to it, share with brothers in the house as well, so that they can have this if there's anything worthwhile that you gained from it as well. So thank you guys.